Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. I'm trying to put across my own perspective on events that have transpired over the last 3 or 4 years to try and help society gain some form of objectivity. I'm a slave. I'm somebody who is being told to take so-called psychiatric medication every night for the rest of my life. I've been told by teams of psychiatrists, and I've dealt with over 20, that I will need to be on medication for the rest of my life. I'm on the last resort antipsychotic called clozapine, and I don't really want to take it. The only reason I am taking it is because if I'm labelled as orally non-compliant, then I'll be put on a depot injection of either clopixel or piportal or risperidone, all of which reduce my libido to the point where I can call the depot injection a form of modern day eugenics, a form of chemical castration. My illness is not created by a chemical imbalance like the psychiatrists told me 18 years ago, an explanation which I naively went along with even though I didn't accept it. Now, my illness is created by, for want of a better word, machines, computers, whatever you want to call it. It's created by devices which are detailed in patents, in patent pending documents. If you go onto Google Patents and you type in remote neural monitoring, you get a patent from 1974, which, although couched in very difficult terminology, explains in its own way how to create symptoms in someone that mimic so-called mental illness. Now, I admit that my brain has malfunctioned to a certain extent, but taking the medication, taking the clozaril, is only going to mask the symptoms. It doesn't address the root cause of my illness. These mind control technologies are the elephant in the room, because even though I suspect at least 80% of psychiatrists are aware of their existence, the 20 psychiatrists that I've dealt with over the last 18 years have never ever admitted the truth of any of these objects or devices or computers. They've never admitted to any of it. And everyone that I've met who's ended up in a mental institution has always ended up on a medication of some sort. Everyone. So it's the elephant in the room. These mind control technologies are starting to become accessible to mainstream individuals. You know, this stuff isn't hidden. You just have to dig a little bit deeper. You have to scratch the surface, and you'll find that all the mind control technologies are fully documented. I just feel like I'm on the receiving end of society. I'm under something called a community treatment order, which means if I stop taking my medication, I can be legally brought back to hospital, so-called hospital, if I don't take the meds. So I could be walking around with a halo. I could be perfectly fine. I could have found some other more holistic way of treating my illness, and I will still be taken to hospital. You know? involuntarily. The last time it was in the back of a police van, and they drove me 35 miles away to Poole and put me in a jail cell, you know? And who benefits from this? The drugs companies. They're the ones who are making billions of pounds out of, you know, and the psychiatrists are in their pocket. But, you know, I'm basically in a situation where I don't want to take my Clozaril, but if I stop taking it, the police will come to my flat, they'll threaten to kick my door in, and then I'll be put on a depot injection that chemically castrates me, like Piportal or Clopixel. And that's all done under the name of the NHS, along with the police doing their dirty work, and the social services, and probably the Freemasons and the military and the intelligence communities. And it's not helping anyone. I don't know what more to say, really. But all the psychiatrists are dealing with a big elephant in the room, and that is that more and more people are aware that these mind control technologies exist. You know, you can talk about advances in artificial intelligence, and people accept that as a reality. They accept the reality of nanotechnology. They accept the reality of genetic engineering. They accept the reality of the International Space Station. But for some reason, the whole topic of mind control and brain implants and microwave hearing, etc., has been swept under the rug. And the reason is that the pharmaceutical companies are making money out of it. They're making money of dumbing down the public. And this is not really fair on Joe Blogg's public who gets stepped on, like me. I just feel like a second-class citizen, and I know that if I stop taking my Clozaril, you know, they'll just basically send me packing again. You can't reason with these people. You can't reason with psychiatrists. You can't reason with them because they're basically not telling the truth. You know, I've dealt with over 20 psychiatrists in the last 18 years. And for the last, I would say, 7 or 8 years, I've told every single one of them that my symptoms are created by machines. And whether they believe me or not, none of them have spoken up to affirm my own experience. They call it delusional thinking, or delusions of grandeur, you know, or magical thinking, or whatever term they want to use, you know. And if you think I'm deluded, you should know that I'm actually highly intelligent, you know. I'm a very good chess player, I'm a very good Scrabble player, I'm a published author, I can play the guitar, I've written volumes of poetry and a novel, I've travelled, I've experienced all kinds of things. But a psychiatrist would term that as a lack of cognitive impairment, you know, or they'd say that I'm presenting a good affect, or something else like that. But, you know, I've got to face my own demons at the end of the day. And taking Clozaril is not helping me do that. It's just giving me more demons to deal with in the long run. And the other thing that pisses me off is their so-called confidentiality. You know, everything I say to a community psychiatric nurse or a psychiatrist is supposedly in confidence, but it's not, because they share that information with the police and with the social services and amongst themselves. So how can that be confidential? How can something be, it's like saying, oh yeah, such and such is a secret because only 3,000 people know about it. It's not confidentiality, is it? I just wish I could get off this damn pill. This clozapine's making me fat. It's making me lazy. It's already ruined my skin. That's covered in striations and stretch marks. It's a real pain in the arse. But I don't want to be labelled as orally non-compliant, because then it's back to the depot injection. And you can say bye-bye to having kids. I'm not trying to be inflammatory here. I'm not trying to create problems. I'm not working for the Church of Scientology or the Citizens Commissions on Human Rights, which is a part of the Church of Scientology. I am a Thalamite, but I don't represent the OTO or any lineage of the Astrum Argentum. I'm not a Freemason. I'm only a member of two groups, which I was only a corresponding member of anyway, not a full member. So I'm not trying to push an agenda. I just think that if people refuse to put their point of view across, then society will lose its objectivity and will become even deeper in the shit than we already are. Clozaril's a nasty drug because I don't even carry it around with me. It's so dangerous. If my niece or nephew were to take one or two of my Clozaril tablets, they could die. They could have a toxic reaction and die. So I don't carry it around with me. I leave it at my flat. It's crazy. If you do take Clozaril, you can't really function because you're lethargic and overweight and you overeat. And if you don't take it, after 2 or 3 days, you go mad. You have something called a rebound psychosis. So I'm not sure what's going on. I just know that without the clozapine, I can't sleep. I mean, I was in St Anne's Hospital in 2013, and I didn't sleep for 2 weeks, which probably caused me permanent brain damage. I don't know what more to say. Yeah, that'll probably do. I just don't want the pill.